Hi, I'm Ben from Freemius. Welcome to another episode of the Experts Corner. Today we'll cover the question, is WordPress.org worth the hassle for plugins? Enjoy!
You cannot get better, cheaper, more qualified, perfect traffic than you can with WordPress.org.
If I were to list all of the things that are most significant in our growth as a team and as a product, WordPress.org by itself is one of the significant factors. And I think it's easily overlooked or taken for granted by the WordPress community how significant that is.
You make it easier and better for people to use WordPress. You help grow WordPress, and as such, you help WordPress become a better place, and hopefully you and your company as well.
Well, if your business model is a freemium model, you definitely want to be on the repository.
If you're just starting a new business, a new plugin or theme business in a WordPress ecosystem, I would definitely recommend to go with a freemium model and also leverage the WordPress.org repository.
The freemium model works. It just really works. Will it work for every single product? I don't know, not necessarily. But does it work for WordPress? Absolutely. And I, at this point, really wouldn't have it any other way. I'm really excited about everything that WordPress.org has to offer.
If you have a free plugin that you can then transition into a premium plugin, then this is the obvious win. You have the benefit of people finding you in this open marketplace that people can search for, they can review, they can leave comments.
That has always been our number one channel of incoming people that were installing our product or service, and it was always the best place that we got search traffic and just really highly qualified people that were trying to use what we had to offer.
It's like a search engine. So you want to make sure that if your product is or your category is being searched a lot, right, then it makes sense to tap into this traffic source and maintain a free solution so that you can get some traffic in from there.
When you go to Google and search for WordPress plugins and themes in different topics, most likely that the first few results will come from WordPress.org. Also, when people are searching for plugins and themes inside the WordPress admin dashboard, the search engine that's running behind the scenes is WordPress.org. So the results that you will see are also coming from WordPress.org.
The power of it is that it's not just on WordPress.org. It's that every WordPress website throughout the world can go to add new plugin and search for something that interests them, and ideally they'll find your plugin there and they'll be able to install it.
So if you're going to go into the repository, you really need to find out what are your keywords, and those keywords are probably going to be somewhat similar to what you find on Google, usually with the word WordPress in there. And how well does your README optimize for those set of keywords?
This helps us grow our plugin organically and expose it to thousands of people every week downloading it from the WordPress repository.
For example, at MailPoet, we have 10,000 new installs just coming from the repository every month.
You are gaining new free users every day, all the time, just simply because you have a plugin that's hosted on WordPress.org.
I definitely recommend to start and leverage WordPress.org. It's a great source for traffic, free users, and also a great way to kind of build that funnel of marketing into your business for free.
WordPress is a big market, and being there actually helps a lot with your marketing activities. And if you're not there, you're completely on your own. And doing marketing activities nowadays isn't easy and cheap task.
It's a great place to get leads from, and if you are offering a really good plugin that is really successful, then you should be able to offer some sort of premium service, or even just use it as advertising for the other services.
We treat our free users as leads, and when they ask pre-sales questions on the WordPress.org forums, we actually show them what level of support they can expect from us.
There's something about the fact that WordPress.org is the de facto place that WordPress users everywhere go to for support that is, in the end, a very large benefit for you and your organization and your product that's hosted there.
With that comes the responsibility of having a lot of free users. Now, a lot of people say free users are more difficult than paid for users. That's actually not really true. It's more that since there's so many more free users, you'll just get a lot of support for these users, and suddenly they sound a lot more difficult, but they're not. Just expect an overload of free support.
So we take free support at WordPress.org very, very, very seriously, and it has proven to be a very significant benefit to our whole organization.
SEO ranking of the WordPress.org repository are actually open source, so we know how different things in your listing, in your marketing profile actually impact your ranking. So relatively easy, you can run different experiments in order to rank high in your vertical.
WordPress.org reviews, I think, are particularly significant because they are how a lot of WordPress users inform themselves on the viability of your product.
That's also the double-edged sword of the WordPress.org forums, is that people can leave comments and they can review things, and you aren't necessarily there to either handhold them through a process or even have a chance to understand where they're hosted, what else they're using, etc., etc.
The downside of being in the WordPress.org repo is that you absolutely positively must comply with every dotted I and crossed T of the requirements of the plugin or theme team. And if you deviate even this much, you're going to be in big, big trouble.
If you're building something that is a niche product that's solving one particular pain point really good, I think that's the perfect use case for WordPress.org. And I think you can really win on WordPress.org, especially in the early days, is if you have a really simple product, a really simple feature set. Now,
support WordPress.org, support WordPress.org plugins, 100%. I've always been keen, I've always been engaged, but these days I couldn't be a bigger fan if you tried. Is WordPress.org a good place to have your plugins? Yes,